I am the Screen Avenger, and I am here with local filmmaker Michael James Hall, director of They Are Mine, most recently a film that I reviewed on my channel. You could check that out. And so in this video, I'm basically going to interview um, Michael on his new movie and just filmmaking in general. So, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, question one. Where did the idea for They Are Mine first come from?
Well, I was walking through the woods and it was snowing out, and I just thought that landscape looked really pretty and everything. And I don't know, it was just kind of more instinctual. Like, it's a feeling of the environment, and I think that goes a long way with like an audience. If you can kind of get them in a mindset, like a snow day or something,
Mm.
it kind of brings back memories for everyone that are relatable.
Mm.
So that was kind of the idea of the having snow, but
Yeah, like the
and like
landscapes are at the beginning and the
yeah,
end.
and like kind of like almost they're on a snow day. They're not exactly on a snow day. They're more like suspended from school.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of like that idea of there being snow around, kids running through the woods. Um, but then I don't know. I just like kids coming together to fight with evil forces. It's like, it's very Goonies-esque and Stand By Me. It's a coming of age tale, which I don't know. I always enjoyed as a kid.
Were the characters based on anyone that you knew?
Um, they're pretty much, some of them have all been experiences that the collective, but it's not specific, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like with writing, I think, you'll just hear something like a line that's funny or an idea you think is clever, and you'll try to write them all down and kind of incorporate it all together in the end and kind of refine it so it's coherent in some way. Hopefully my film is. But.
Yeah. Sorry. And what was the hardest thing to A, write into the script, or B, do while actually filming the movie? Like a problem, maybe,
yeah.
or something that you encountered?
The hardest thing to write into the script. Well, originally I didn't want my film to be. I didn't want it to be a horror movie. I never set out like, oh, I want to make a horror movie. I wanted to make just this adventure story of the kids going on an adventure in the woods. But it just seems so exciting, and I feel like when I'm writing, like I always try to like excite myself and whatever is entertaining, what I want to see, So that was it was so. Is this a spoiler? We're spoiling the movie, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
Watch it.
right. So I think the biggest thing, it was almost hard to write, one of the kids, the characters gains control after being held captive, the gun, and shoots a little kid in the chest. And I think just saying that, it's hard. It just felt right to do, but I knew I had to make sure that like this kid was no longer just an innocent kid. He was so corrupt and brainwashed that he is almost on the same level as a murdering woman, that's stealing children. Like, I needed them to be on the same level so that when the kid was murdered, that the audience would be kind of relieved that he was no longer a threat to the kids.
Yeah.
And also, like, shooting that film was definitely a challenge because anytime you're dealing with special effects, it's a pain. And we had to do it a couple times. We never really got it exactly how I wanted it to, but that was probably the hardest, because then blood goes everywhere, makes a mess. Well, it's tricky. So that was hard. It's just a matter of not having enough time. So we would have to cram a lot of shooting locations into one day, a couple days, and we're just rushing. So that's kind of just trying to cram it all in was hard.
Were there any scenes that were improvised or scenes that didn't make it into the finished film?
Improvised. Not really. Most of the most of what, and it's pretty scripted, and then eventually we added more because I wanted to ramp up the idea of, like, the kid with the bag over his head was in the original script, but the third act happened way too short for me, and I wanted to kind of ramp up that horrific genre, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I was trying to avoid doing genre things, but sometimes it's, you know, good to indulge and give those people, you know, viewers what they want, you know. What was the question again?
Any improvised scenes or scenes
Oh,
that
yeah.
didn't make it to the
So,
finish movie?
and then the one scene that we kind of, so originally in the script for the rape scene that happens, but so I wrote something that I feel like ended up being generic, and as you die,
Yeah.
if you're dying of cancer right now. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had this.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope you're okay. So
yeah, they are no.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's been happening for a few
Good.
years.
Well, hopefully I won't get sick. But like that scene, I feel like when we went to film it, it just felt so like, you know, there were cliches in the script that we had, like the kid like singing like a creepy song to Trixie, one of the female protagonists. And I just, like, we were there and I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. It just feels a little tacky. So we kind of just went through, you know, like that's like kind of like one of the more sexual scenes, so that could probably be like the most awkward and like uncomfortable scenes to film. But actually it turned out to be really comfortable, and it was, you know, we had a good time, everyone was laughing. But we kind of just, what felt right, you know what I mean? What felt creepy, but it felt authentic at the same time, not, you know, falling into cliches. I mean, obviously it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's got to be some cliches, but we tried to be as weird as we could and try to be original. So.
And where did you find the actors? Let's switch gears a little. Yeah.
Let's switch gears. So originally, like my other short films, I had kind of just my friends that are around town, and one of the actors who was in the film, who's helped me with my other short films, Paul Schuyler, and his wife's actually in the film as well. But he was saying, he's just like, you can't have your friends in the film anymore. You gotta, you know, up the ante in a way. You gotta do something bigger. Because I wanted the film to be bigger. I wanted it to be, you know, I wanted to be able to do something with it. And so if I was gonna take the film seriously, I should have like serious people that care about acting and like are training to the actors. So I went to the community college and I talked to a theater class about, you know, being in my movie. And then we held auditions and people came, and it was cool that people actually showed up. And then we found our actors, which was really exciting. But then, you know, the two girls, Sophia, I knew, I thought she would just be good at that, and Phoebe, I knew through other friends that she was around town and looking to do some acting, because she'd done some acting in LA. So she was around too, so it worked out. It was weird because like it was like only, I think like the last, I think we held auditions like February. It was like on Valentine's Day, so like was that February 14th?
Yeah.
And then I think we started shooting like it was like the last week there was snow on the ground in March, so there wasn't much turnaround time. And I was like, we gotta start it, because like people were talking about, well, maybe we could just do it next winter, and I'm like, dude, we're not waiting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I gotta go, you know. I don't like waiting.
And were there any movies, books, anything that influenced this film, or any of your other short films, or anything? I
mean, it's definitely influenced by the Goonies. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. But Stand By Me was more of like an influence to it, because Goonies is a little like more for a younger audience. You know what I mean? A little cartoonish. My movie does have cartoonish aspects, but like I did want it to feel like there to be realism in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other movies. This is not. Have you ever seen You're Next?
I haven't. My cousins saw it. They're really into horror movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it, but like that wasn't like I just kept when we were making the film, I just kept being like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Your Next.
Yeah, when we
the kitchen scene and the end
Yeah.
is what I'm referring to the most.
when I was when we were in Baltimore a couple years ago with my cousins had just seen Your Next like a month ago, and
Yeah.
they were like still terrified of it. And so my cousins were getting ready for bed, and I was in the bathroom. I had just taken a shower. Like the mirror was all foggy, and I wrote Your Next on the mirror.
Nice.
And my cousin went in and she screamed, and then she was like who? And she was really serious. She was like, who did this? I didn't admit to it at first because it was hilarious just watching.
You're too scared.
Yeah, but I eventually did. But it was funny while it lasted.
Right. So other influences, I'm just trying to think. I really love Nicholas Winding Refn. You know, the director of Drive. Have you seen Drive?
No, I haven't seen Drive.
Check that out. I mean, I don't know, because like from a story standpoint, like Stand By Me and The Goonies are awesome. I just like to try to do like artistic things in the movie, and with the score, like I kind of wanted to give you a feeling, you know what I mean by that, and it's like there are some parts in the movie where it's not just nothing's really like the scene on the ice when they're running across the ice. It's kind of more of a feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can
the
kind
slow
of
motion.
Yeah, it's like you understand what's going on, and you're filled with joy. It's I don't know, but I try to do that.
Now let's really switch gears.
Do it.
How did you get into directing in general? Writing? You did the score and editing. You did everything on this movie.
Well,
almost everything.
I had some good helpers, like Brandon Dutralia and Jeff Bass. They're my good tech guys. But I think when I was about my senior year, I always watched a lot of movies because my mom worked at a video rental store, and so it was kind of like in our family just to watch a lot of movies. But I think it was senior year. You have a film and culture class. You might have that, hopefully.
Yeah, I made a short film last year.
Yeah.
We had a project on Greece, and we could do anything we wanted. So me and two friends, we did a whole 3-part video series on the Trojan War.
Oh, there you
Awesome.
go.
Yeah, we roped our friends and family into it.
That's what you got to do. I mean, that's how it starts. And I just remember watching my senior. I just started thinking about directors and what a director was doing, and because before that I never don't think I was really thinking about how much of a shape you could have over a movie. That's what the director does, an author in a way. If it was a book. But and then I enjoyed reading and I enjoyed writing and telling stories. But so then I went to college and I started writing, just going to school, but I ended up watching a lot more movies than actually doing my school work. And then so it's hard. And then I started writing screenplays, and I just remember feeling when I would see other people I knew that were doing film things, I was just so jealous, and I was like, God, I wish I was doing that. I'm so envious of them. Even if their major was film, and I don't know. I wrote a little screenplay with some friends, and I thought it'd be cool to make this. We can make this. Let's do it. And obviously, you fail a lot. You run into a lot of problems, and you end up, like you say, you rope your friends and family into it, and have people do you favors. But from each film, you kind of learn a little bit more about filmmaking and how to do it. So just building, getting better. So yeah, I guess that's how I got into it. And when I was in high school, I played a lot of music, so I wanted to be more of a musician. I wanted to be a rock star. So I like taking the music aspect and putting it in my films to shape the story. So I think you can combine. It's like the best of all worlds. You know what I mean? I can play my music, but I can also put pictures behind that and tell them stories.
And on a similar note, pun intended, how did you come up with the music for They Are Mine? How was it inspired? It's really good music.
Thanks.
Like when Michael sees the girl, I thought that was
really?
the best demonstration of it.
I don't know. I had the theme like in the beginning when it's like like the drone shot in the beginning when the little kid's running through the woods, kind of escaping mommy. I had that kind of theme in my head for a while, but then I would just like that theme is carried over into other parts of the score, but it's done in a more synthesizer way. So I use a synthesizer for that, and I'll do it in different pitches and stuff. And I kind of just noodle around with like the synth for a while and put different effects. I just don't want it to sound like everything else in a way. It ends up sounding weird.
Unique.
Yeah, definitely unique. Hopefully, hopefully it comes up that way.
And I unfortunately did not get to attend the premiere.
I know.
How was that?
It was fun. It was cool. It was cool hearing, seeing people's responses to the movie, and just have people laugh at the jokes you thought would be funny, but you wrote them you write them like a year and a half ago, and then you like have people say them over and over again, and it's just like, man, I think this is funny, but then you kind of like lose track of it, and like you're like, is this even funny anymore? It's not that I write my jokes to be funny. I just feel like they're very in the spirit of who the characters are and like how kids are, and when I was a kid. But it was cool just having people laugh and be scared and be silent, during the scary parts, and cheer. Cheering's good.
And so I'm gonna ask a few questions.
Sure.
Last few questions, but they should get you thinking.
Okay.
They're kind of simple, but I think you might have expected them. Favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part.
Yes, your favorite part.
So my favorite shot in the movie is probably, I guess, I don't know, I have a couple. Like, I really like when, we find out that Trixie has not been raped. She's I broke his neck.
Yeah,
I think
I love that.
that's a great line. It's a good line. Great writing. No, it's like I'm talking about how great my movie is. It's kind of funny. But then I like the coolest shot. I like when it's on top of the school bus door. I don't know if you can tell that's a school bus door.
Yeah.
Like that's to the little kid, the rapist's room. Like he's like, I think I lost her, and then he peeks his eye through, and then it goes down.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like we kind of tried to make it dirty, so it wasn't like on the nose, like, oh, that's a school bus door. It's about kids, But I kind of try to subtly kind of incorporate it. But I liked it how it starts up there, and then it comes down, and then the window gets smashed in, because that was all like one take, and that you can't really do that again. You kind of have to nail it. Like I do like the shots that are like one shots. You know what I mean? Like with mommy smoking the cigarette, and it's kind of tracking. You know what I mean? It's all kind of like a oneer. Those are fun. But I also I like the way, I like the edit between when mommy's yelling to Buddy. She's like, Buddy, Buddy, and then her voice cuts out, and then you see her mouth go, Buddy, and then it cuts to the kids smashing all the pictures and stuff, and then the music kicks in. It's like, I like that. It's exciting, but.
And funniest line or scene?
Well, I feel like it's definitely I think I broke his neck.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, funniest, I think so. People seem to like it at the theater, so.
And lastly, favorite character?
Favorite character?
Because when you've created them all, it's kind of tough to...
It is hard.
Figure out which one.
I don't know. I can't even say that. I can't say. It's because I love parts. They're all flawed in a way, or they got problems, but I love them all. They all have things that are lovable about them. I try to give them all like a moment to shine. That they do something that's helpful towards the getting out of their situation. Favorite character? I don't know. I can't pick. It's hard. Who's your favorite character?
Probably Sebastian, because he we got to feel because he's kind of the awkward, clumsy kid who isn't really aware kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
And because when he is when they're in the mine and he says to one of the girls what's up, he's trying to find love.
Yeah, right.
In the worst time possible.
You know, I mean, hormones are kicking in when you're young, and it's kind of, girls are always on your mind. You know.
I should know.
It's tough. But, yeah, Sebastian's good.
I know I said lastly, but this is the last one.
Sure.
Do you have any upcoming projects or ideas that you'd like to let us know about?
Yeah, I want to do a love story. I want to do like a bloody romance movie, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I always end up having violence in my movies, but
yeah, same here.
It's kind of, I don't know. So it's kind of cheap because it's an easy way to raise the stakes,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And be like, oh god, something's actually happening. But yeah, a nice. I don't know. I feel like a lot of romance movies and love stories end up with. It's they fall in love and then something happens, they're not talking, and then the guy has to win the girl back. I kind of want to do something where it's why can't people just fall in love right away?
Mm-hmm.
Why does there have to be that, the guy doing something wrong and he has to win the girl back? I want that not to be the problem. I want, other things, other events, which I guess I haven't really figured it all out, but now I sound like a crazy person. But yeah, so a love story with blood in it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this interview.
No problem.
It was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good.
So if you haven't seen They Are Mine yet, you shouldn't have watched this video because there were spoilers in it. But so go watch it if you haven't seen it. This is Michael James Hull, and I think you'll be seeing his bloody romance story fairly soon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to watch my review of They Are Mine, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!